Hey, in this episode, we're going to talk about how to spot an imposter and notice if you're one of them. Because just because you feel like an imposter doesn't make you an imposter. In fact, if you feel like an imposter, then you're not. It'll all make sense if you listen after this. Hey, welcome to the Personal Development Unplugged podcast. So pleased you're here. Your time is valuable and precious. So what I would like to do is fill that time that you share with me with the most shiny golden nuggets to help improve your life, to get your goals, your wishes, your dreams to come to fruition quicker, bigger, better than you could ever imagine. Using your imagination, using hypnosis, using NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, all of that, using all things of the mind. No brain hacks, but real solid processes to deconstruct what people do to become great. And then find the processes that we can install that in ourselves to support you in your dreams and get what you really want in life. Anyway, who am I? I'm Paul Clough, and just going to have conversations with you in this podcast and get you thinking, but also share those processes because we're going to have so much fun. That's it. We're going to have fun for a change because we can sit down for a spell and have more fun than we can stand, creating the world we want to live in and be the person we want to be in that world. The only limitation is your imagination. And you got bucket loads, by the way, bucket loads. Have a listen. You really must.
Warning. You are entering into the unplugged mind of Paul Clough. Too late. Personal Development Unplugged.
Hey friend, how are we today? I'm feeling a lot better, thank you. What's this about imposters? I am an imposter. Maybe not. You see, spotting if you really are an imposter is a good thing to do, I guess, isn't it? Because we feel it, but are we really an imposter? And one of the things I wrote here was, as in my big overview, if you can, always get a good look at things differently before you decide. Because when you look at things differently, as you know, they appear different. So I wanted to get a little bit counterintuitive, if I could be so bold. Counterintuitive. Let's flip it. Flip the coin on this little dive, this thought muse, as it were. Not, am I an imposter? I'll say that again. Am I an imposter? Do I have imposter syndrome because I'm an imposter? But, and I do love a but occasionally, well, instead of an and, can I spot one? An imposter, that is. Because if you can spot, when we go through this, if you can spot yourself in this, then, never mind, something to work on. But just notice as we go through this, can you spot yourself in here? Or maybe you can spot somebody else. I don't know. Let's have a little think. Let's have a little, as I say, amuse. So, my first little thoughts on this were, an imposter is a fake. And I think more importantly about imposters, they bloody know they're faking it. It's that old fake it as you make it bullshit. And they know it because they went out of their way to fake it. And because they know it, they are like giving seeds of BS everywhere with like little snippets of different, the complicated words maybe, dropping a book title now and again, or something, I saw on YouTube the other day, it was so, and just getting a little bit like blowing smoke up their bum because they're just using words. They don't know them. And that's when you know you're an imposter. Or you know you can spot an imposter because they're using words without, they haven't put the work in to understand what they mean. And they haven't put the work in to be using and doing the words or the things they've learnt, to know what they do know and do what they do know, because they're too busy. You see, they're too busy trying to fake it. They're too busy putting all that energy into the quick and easy, trying to get there without putting the effort in. And we all know if you don't put the effort in, if you don't have that determination, you don't have the will to do whatever it takes, despite whatever happens, then that's what an imposter does, or doesn't do, faking it. And that's a real shame, isn't it? But it's a shame on them, because they are really imposters. So if you spot somebody faking it by the way they talk, the way they use these words, they drop things, but it's quite obvious that if you did press them, they're not really the doer of the words. They're just letting them come out of their mouth. Then spotting an imposter number one, hashtag number one, we've got them. We see, and also I thought, an imposter doesn't care for the group or how they can help in that group. They don't. They're not there to support. They're too busy protecting that fake it. You see, they're more interested in I think we call it W11FM. What's in it for me? Themselves. It's got an FU in it. And you see, they just want to have very, very, very narcissistic, I guess, isn't it? They just want things for themselves. They don't give a monkey's whatever about the other people as long as they can make it and fake it. Or they can be seen with the bigger fish in that little pond. Because then they can be there by association alone. Not because they're any good, but by being seen with those people, they are riding on the back. I always got that little picture of a shark. You see those sharks with those little fish on the sides, and they're just, sucking on the side of that fish just to stay there. That's my little picture, metaphor of an imposter. So if you can see somebody who's so much in it for themselves, and they're like hanging around the big fish all the time, I think we've spotted another one. We've spotted, the greatest spotted imposter. So we've got two little things now. How to spot an imposter, #1, #2. But I think there's more. You see, imposters don't ask for help. Because if they ask for help, they'd be exposing themselves. Exposing themselves in a way that, they don't know. And then having to admit they don't know something. And they would have to be, I guess, in that wonderful world of vulnerability, have to be a little bit vulnerable to say, I don't know that. Can you help me? Because an imposter wouldn't do that. And the other thing then, linked with the one above, an imposter, if asked for help, wouldn't give it. One thing they can't, but on the other hand, that's nothing in it for them, unless it is asked for help by the bigger fish. And they'd be right up there. You see, it's that showing lack which would crucify them, I guess. And in their case, it would be seen to be a big lack. And their faking it then wouldn't be working. And again, they wouldn't know it, which is why they wouldn't do it, because they're so incapable of understanding where they are, how much they know, and have that wish to learn more. And what I mean is to learn more so they can do more. You see, I think that's so dishonest because they're just happy to be living that lie. And I'm thinking, if you're trying to spot an imposter, you can spot the ones above and then notice that they're actually living the lie. And notice what that would feel like for you if you had to live a lie. Just promoting yourselves or yourself, knowing that you're faking it, living that lie. And I know we're going to say spotting an imposter to see, can you spot yourself here? But, if you couldn't live that lie, there's no way that you're an imposter. Because you're living, being yourself, being true to yourself, being that little bit vulnerable. But that vulnerability comes from wanting to learn more, wanting to improve yourself. And therefore, when you improve yourself, You're looking for the good of the group, supporting everybody. You see, imposters don't help others. Why would they? It's at W11 FM. Unless there's a better, what's in it for me, then they don't help. So anything what they consider below them, not the top dog asking, they're not going to bother. They will find an excuse how busy they are. So look around for people being so busy doing nothing. You see, to them, an imposter, selfless service is blasphemy. They'd have garlic round their neck, a wooden cross, a stake, because it would be blasphemy, begone, selfless service. Doing something for no want of return? My goodness me. Imposters don't do that. Selfless service. They're not the kind. Well, they're just not kind. And they don't make sure others are okay. They don't look out for others. See if someone is struggling. Just asking a question. They're not compassionate that way. Because if they couldn't show compassion because they haven't got the skill to help people, because they've faked it to where they are already. So that would just expose them, expose their lack. And plus, what would it do for them? Helping everybody for no sense of return, no want of return? Goodness me, what's the point of that? That's how you spot an imposter. And you see, I've got quite a few more yet, I think. They don't think how they can improve themselves, not in the real genuine way, how they can learn more, learn more and improve what they already know. Because why would that interest them? That takes effort, doesn't it? It takes effort to learn things, and certainly never share. Doesn't matter how big or small. They would never share that information with anybody else. Why would they? That gives somebody else, one step higher than them. That's an imposter wouldn't share. And they don't look to improve themselves in their own personal knowledge. It's very difficult to explain, I think, but you get it. They just look after themselves. Number uno, which I think is great. Sometimes we have to look after ourselves. Don't get me wrong, because, we have to protect ourselves. But we can protect ourselves by being compassionate, doing selfless service, asking for help, making sure others are okay. You see, they're not masters. An imposter is not a master and doesn't have mastery. And sometimes it's a bit more difficult to tell because they're dropping all these book titles and names and sucking up and all that stuff. But when you get down to it, they're not doing what they know well. And they don't know what they do well. And it doesn't matter. You see, an imposter will not admit they only know this much and there's so much more to learn. But that thing that they only know this much of, they don't do it well. Because that's what imposters don't do. The people who really put the effort in to really master what they know and then share it. And maybe ask questions of how they can improve. Ask questions of themselves. And again, I guess, ask questions of others, the group, making sure everyone's okay. They're just so limited right now, and they'll always will be limited. Some will get there by bullshit alone, but how long, I don't know. You see, do you think how you can improve what you know? Do you know, or do you think, how can you actually improve what you're doing right now? Doing what you do know. Very big on doing. You see, mastery is all about practicing what you know and learning more. Mastery is being able to ask for help so you can learn more. And then when you ask for that help and you learn more, but you actually share then, you give that help to others, if asked for. But you'll show it by example, I guess. And then people will ask. But because you're there, living this example of someone who is doing what they know, or doing what they know and knowing what they do. They're prepared to help others. They're compassionate. They're looking after the group, looking after other people with selfless service. You see, when you get all of that, apart from the last bit, did those things about spotting an imposter, do they resonate with you as if they're anything like you at all? Because if you're listening here, I know they don't, because you're not. Because the thing is, and here's the thing, this is the thing that I know. Imposters do not feel they're an imposter. They ain't got time for that. But you will know you're on the right path when you feel you're an imposter. Because people on the right path, they have that right thought about themselves and others, that they question themselves, should I be here? But I just want to tell you, yes, you're right. If you've got that feeling and you can do what you know what you do, help others, give that selfless service, you're on the right path. You see, just keep doing what you're doing. Just keep on doing what you're doing and feel it. Because there is a positive intention about why you'd feel an imposter. We're going to talk about that another time, because I just wanted you in this episode just to understand, if you're feeling an imposter, that's pretty good. That means you're out of your familiar comfort zone and you're doing things to make a difference to yourself, which will make a difference to the people around you, which will make a difference to this little old planet Earth of ours. And it's natural, which we'll talk about in the future episode, that intention, why we get to feel an imposter. But the thing is, once you just get that, you can keep moving and keep holding on to that imposter feeling. Because as you hold on to it, you just say, yeah, I get to do this because this is the right thing. Because I'm not an imposter. Because I feel an imposter. Because I did that check. And I'm not any of those things that Cluffy talked about. In fact, I'm the opposite. And I still feel an imposter. And that's why we look at things differently. And all you have to do is, as I say, keep doing the things you're doing. Keep learning. Keep asking for help. Keep supporting others. That selfless service. And you're going to shine. You're going to shine, and people are going to look towards you and to you. And that's going to be an awesome privilege to be there for other people. I hope that I've made some sort of sense. You see, my original title was I'm an Imposter. I don't think so. But I didn't want to go, well, maybe I did. I don't know what I'm going to call this one yet. I hope, as I said, I've communicated something to you to just muse over and say, well, I don't feel any of those, but I do feel an imposter. Then I'm not an imposter. And then the biggest one is, am I faking it? Am I faking what I'm doing? In the truest sense of the word faking, making it up, spreading bullshit everywhere to get somewhere on that alone. And the thing is, if you listen to this and you listen all the way through and you're here, then you're not. And that feeling will spur you through if you use it. And that's the whole point of these things. Let's use this emotion. You might feel a negative emotion, but you go, damn, I get to get pushed even further. And I'm pulled even more to make my life the best life that could ever be. Make today better than yesterday. Let's get into a bit of stoicism again. But every day we make better than yesterday, you'll always feel an imposter. A little bit. But you'll also know you're on the right track. You're on the right path. And if you look back, which we forget to do sometimes, if we look back over the days, the weeks, you'll see how far you've come, how much you've made a difference to the world, and how much you've made a difference to you. And then we can just sit back and just for 5 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, just feel grateful. And when you do that, you are just charging up your batteries and you're getting revved up to go again and again and again. There. So let's make today better than yesterday, and let's continue being an imposter or feeling an imposter. Okay. If you enjoyed that, I'd love to know if you can give me a little bit of feedback. If I was totally confusing, I'd love to know, because I don't want to be confusing. If there's something else I can help with, please let me know. All of this comes via an email, feedback@personaldevelopmentunplugged.com. Remember, if there's any, when you do feel this way and you want to change your state maybe, because you think your state might, okay, this is my little signal to say I'm on the right path, but I need to have a feeling of, confidence, high self-esteem or whatever. Go to those hypnosis tracks, the NLP processes. They're all free. paulcloughonline.com/podcast. There's 55 odd different processes there, which will all help you to make today better than yesterday. And you'll learn more, and you'll do more, and you'll care more. And they're all free. You can download them. That's the whole point about having them in that different place. So you can download them. You don't have to worry about Wi-Fi and things like that. Just do what you want to do with them. And please share this episode. Please tell people of this podcast. I know I've taken a bit of your time, but hopefully it's been worth it. Hopefully there's some golden nuggets here. If only put your mind to rest that you're on the right path. Anyway, have a look at paulcloughonline.com if you would. There's some premium programs there, things like Supreme Inner Confidence. There's some really great hypnosis tracks in there. Have a little look, have a play around. And if you sign up to the hypnosis tracks, you're going to get a great discount as well. Anyway, until the next time, my friend, it's time to fly. Bye-bye now.
Warning, you are now leaving the unplugged mind of Paul Clough. It's time to fly on your own. Be brave, my friend.
Personal Development Unplugged.